Kyrie, you obviously have you've won divisional titles before. How does this one feel?
It feels great. We earned it, and we did it under some crazy circumstances within our season, just injuries, trades, just uncertainty on how we were going to figure out the defensive end, and just a lot of expectations on our team at the beginning of the season, personally or individually, and then just externally from kind of the basketball cultural world, knowing how special me and Luka are. But we knew that we weren't going anywhere without us having some great guys alongside of us, playing selflessly, and then us playing selflessly and putting our best foot forward towards being better leaders every day, continuing to get better. And I think that mentality led us to 50 wins. So it's a total organizational effort, top to bottom. So I just want to give a huge shout out to the people that have been in the trenches with us this whole entire time, and that helped us get to this point.
Speaking of that defense, just tell us about what you guys were able to do tonight. Forced 19 turnovers, and I know the Heat had a couple of 24-second shot clock violations there in the fourth quarter.
We just tried to make it tough and adjust to their pace tonight. Both teams were coming off of back-to-back, so we knew it could go either way, just in terms of the pace and how the game started. And I think we got off to a decent start in that first quarter, and then we never looked back since. So, we're not going to have quarters like that every game, but when we get off to a good start like that, we continue to play defense, and we are just adapting to the pace of the game. I felt like we did a great job of that. That's what led us to this victory tonight.
Slightly off topic, but I believe this is your first game post-Ramadan. Mm-hmm. And I wondered what it meant to you. From what I understand, the organization really embraced the fact that you were going through, had Ramadan, mm-hmm. and also being able to go through it alongside Shamgod. Mm-hmm. And I wonder what that meant to you, as a person, just personally going through that spiritual experience, feeling support from the team.
Yeah, there's 4 billion Muslims around the world. There's 9 billion people in the world, so I think anybody could do the math in terms of that. In terms of just, when you're feeling like you can't do it for that day, you just got to remember that you have brothers and sisters around the world that are going through that journey with God with you, and it just is a lot of comfort. Some painful days where you think you're hungry, or you think you can't do it, right? Or you just want to give up, and it's just that inner voice that just continues to speak to you. Just, you can do it. You're not alone. All those things attributed to the success, not just during Ramadan, but just as I put my best foot forward within my life, and just continuing to mature and giving glory to God all the time. So this was my first game post-Ramadan, but it was really just another day in the office. That was it. Because again, like I told you in the beginning of Ramadan, this is an individual journey, but it's also about the family. It's also about the spiritual aspect of it and growing. I don't want to dive too deep into it because some of the basketball world doesn't like to hear all this, but I do. So those that are listening, I want to share with them that I love you, and I couldn't have done it without you. So Shamgod, alongside a lot of my other brothers and sisters, we did it together, and we came out stronger. So it was in honor of all oppressed people around the world. Those that are dealing with being innocent targets in the middle of wars. There's a lot going on. So for me, it was bigger than just a game of basketball and playing well. It was just about continuing to stay on my team.
This is a terrible segue because we're going from a real topic to a trivial one.
No, it's okay.
The organization obviously made a big statement with the T-shirts pregame for weeks. How important was that message, do you think? And why isn't your backcourt partner getting more love in that race?
Man, it was a statement. But we all knew how special this year was going to be. And I say we, just in that locker room, the organization, we knew how special this year was going to be just based on our practices, what Luka was doing, showcasing that all the time, really being more vocal, challenging his teammates, challenging me, and doing it in his own way. And I think that's a true sign of an MVP, of coming into a season and really initiating himself into that leadership role and doing it on both ends of the floor. His stats speak for themselves. He's first in a lot of different categories. He's held the team up when I wasn't able to be in the lineup and I was injured. So there are a lot of factors that attribute to his MVP case. And me as a brother of his, I have the utmost love and support to give him during this time because I want to see him win MVP. If it's not going to be this year, it's going to be in the eventual future, in the near future. He's mastered different nuances of the game, and he's continuing to explore his abilities and his talents, and it's beautiful to be a part of. So, the shirts mean a lot to us to represent him, but I think the most important thing he wants to do is win, and he's always put that first. So he has a huge responsibility on his team every night. He knows it, and it's our job as brothers to make sure that we alleviate him of some of those responsibilities and make sure he knows that we have his back, and we know how special he is.
You've had a good amount of time now with PJ and Daniel Gafford. Like to continue to build continuity defensively and use different defensive schemes. It seems like you guys are doing more switching and different pick and roll coverages. How do you think that will prepare you guys for your outlook heading into the playoffs?
I'm gonna be real with you. I think I'm done giving out some of the secrets. I think it's up to the other teams to now start watching film. We have different adjustments we can make. We've shown it over the past few games, and I think now it's just kind of about staying silent and getting ready for teams building whatever game plan they have for us and whatever we have in the first round. No disrespect to your question, but I think we've done enough talking for us for the season, and we are who we are and ready to take on some challenges.
PJ, you guys are divisional champs. How does that feel? Because I know you've never been in that position before in the NBA.
Feels great. 50 wins. It's an exciting thing in this league. It's not done by too many teams. So for us to be able to get 50 wins and obviously win our division is great. So I'm excited where we're at right now, and I'm excited to head into the postgame.
And also, from an individual standpoint, how does it feel to bounce back after the game you had last night?
Feels great. Honestly, I wasn't really too excited with my game last night, but we won. So I was happy we moved on to Miami. Obviously, got a great win and a great team effort tonight. So I think we did well on both sides of the ball, and I'm just excited.
In this run of 16 wins in 18 games, you guys have been the #1 defense in the NBA. Why are you guys now what changed?
Just having pride on that end and being physical. We try to come into every game and bring physicality. I think everybody's done a great job of that and being able to talk on that end and being able to switch. I feel like we can do pretty much everything defensively. So just being able to be versatile on that end is great for us.
What was the mindset of the team, PJ, when they cut the 25-point lead down to 8?
Just to keep playing, to take it one step at a time. Obviously, we know they're a great team over there, so we can't take them for granted even if we are up 22. So we had some mental lapses right there in the third quarter, but we had a great way to close it out, and I'm just glad we got a win tonight.
And how do you guys stay focused when the next meaningful game is the playoff game against the Clippers? It's like 10 days, 11 days.
For us, we have a goal, and nothing's going to stop that. So for us, that's our main focus, no matter who we're playing. So we're always hungry and excited for the next opportunity to go out there and play.
Before the game, you guys are warming up. You guys all wore the T-shirts. When did you find out about the T-shirt?
When I walked into the locker room, and that was my first time seeing them. So for any of y'all who don't know what it means real MVP. So just credit to Luka for the season he's had. He's a special player, and I'm just excited to be able to play with him and watch his greatness each and every night. So he's a real MVP.
What was the reaction when those T-shirts came out? Did you almost kind of feel like that was another team bonding situation?
Yeah, we were trying to wear them during the game, but they didn't let us. So, but everybody's excited to have a shirt for sure.
So to piggyback on that, what are your thoughts on that? Because it seems like everybody around the NBA is talking about all the other top players in the NBA except Luka as far as being the MVP candidate.
I don't know why. I think his resume shows, and I think his resume is better than anybody else's resume. I don't feel like there's a complete argument for anybody to have a better season than him this year. So we're fifth in the West right now. We got 50 wins, and he's playing the best basketball on the planet right now. So he's the MVP.
MGM, Remix Sports Media. PJ, you have been a great acquisition to this team, heading into the postseason. What are some things you're looking to do out there on the floor to go ahead and help your teammates out on that basis?
Being aggressive defensively, just trying to hit open shots, and just taking it one game at a time, whatever coach asks me to do.
Team, like the Heat under 100 points. This shows where our defense is right now.
What does that say about your team when Luka got involved over there in the first quarter? You were able to increase the lead at that time.
I think it's just the trust and chemistry that we have. Is when Luka got his third foul, if there was no panic, we bring in Kai and we extended the lead. We continue to play defense at a high level. Being able to work Josh back into the fold to be able to get his minutes. So there was a lot of positive things. We felt like we were in control of the game. Maybe for 5 minutes they took control, but I thought the response for our team, tonight on the back-to-back, just shows how far we've come since October.
And how's Jones doing? I know he's holding his shoulder that way.
I think he's fine. I think he's fine. I hope he's fine.
This was your 7th road win in the last 8 attempts, and 9th in the last 11th. And your 25 road wins is the most since the championship team. What importance do you place on that, if at all, especially going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's just a special situation when you look at the overall from start to finish, and we're not done. We have 2 games left in the regular season, and then we'll prepare for the playoffs. But just from where we started, and then you look at the trade deadline to make a change. Sometimes the changes take a little bit longer, and then understanding the Western Conference and where that stands, and to achieve 50 wins here in the last 3 years, 2 out of the 3, we've done that, and so we're building something, and now it's just a matter of being healthy and continue to keep working on our habits.
Jason, is there an advantage to, you were going to get a week anyway, but is there an advantage to knowing, getting a few extra days, knowing what the matchup will be?
Yeah, I think being able to get some rest here, we'll look when we get home about Friday, and then also Sunday, and you can go from there. But then also, we don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday, and we'll have to travel Friday or Saturday to our next opponent. So, but it's good, to get some rest. But also sometimes you want to keep playing because of the rhythm and where we are as a team. But I think we've passed a lot of tests. The next test will be harder. But right now, to be able to rely on our defense and sharing the ball, I thought, again, the ball was moving. And just understand when other guys are getting shots, make or miss, just everyone's happy. So it's a great thing to see. But the rest is going to be important as we go forward here.
When we asked you pregame about Luka, why his MVP candidacy isn't a bigger deal. Not to repeat myself, but how is Daniel Gafford not missing a shot for weeks at a time? How is that not a bigger deal? I mean, nobody's ever seen this before. How is this happening? How does he do 33 in a row and 22 in a row and counting?
Yeah, it's amazing what Gaff has done. When you look at his ability, his catches and then finishes, and some of the finishes, he wasn't, just easy putbacks. He was falling down. I think just his confidence around the rim and in the paint is at a high level. The trust is at a high level. Being able to get offensive rebounds and to be able to put back and fight through some of the contact just shows how talented he is. But sometimes when you have like Luka and Kai, sometimes you are overshadowed by chasing Will just a little bit. But I think he's going to chase Will for the rest of his career as long as he's with Kai and Luka. At some point, he should break it.
Jason, what were you guys able to do from a defensive standpoint, particularly they're forcing 19 turnovers and 2 24-second violations there in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, our defense is playing well. They're executing as coaches the game plan. They're doing it at a high level. The trust between the game plan and being able to execute it. They're taking it from the locker room and to the court. So Right now, everybody's hearing the commands. We're protecting one another. I think that's one of the biggest things right now is the trust of help is there and continuing to keep playing it. Again, our big group, I think we're with that starting group, we're 17-1, somewhere around there. And without Luka starting in one of those games. And so just understanding we're big and we're experiencing our length and using our length. And I thought tonight at the rim we got a lot of block shots from a lot of different guys. It just wasn't Gafford, it was D. Jones, it was PJ being able to cover up and help one another.
As Tim alluded, you now know that you'll be playing the Clippers. So in addition to the rest, I know you have 2 more regular season games left, but in addition to the rest, about the advantage or at least knowing who you're going to be facing.
Yeah, I think the only advantage is probably the film room and the coaches, knowing that they don't have to prepare video for the others 3 or 4 teams. When you talk about 1, 2, or 3, if you were going to be in the 6th spot. And so that's the advantage. So the film room is happy that they can just focus on the Clippers and also the coaches. But I think before we get to the Clippers, we just have to continue to keep working on our habits, understand where our chemistry is at and our trust, and continue to keep making that stronger.
Coach, you've done a good job as a team holding Jimmy and Bam and just the Heat in general to kind of some ineffective games for their side. You held it to 20 combined points today, and you held the Heat as a whole, so I think about 12 shots at the rim, and they did not convert well at the rim or in the short mid-range. Is the game plan for you guys to kind of jam in the middle for them and just in general pack the paint versus the Heat?
Well, we know they like to drive middle, and that's what, if you let them get middle, they're going to pick you apart, and they'll find their shooters. We were trying to keep some of those guys off the three-point line. We got to do a better job with Love. But just sending them to the rim, understanding with Gaff and PJ and Derek, the guys, and Maxie, that we're big enough to contest, and we're also just trying to keep guys off the free throw line. That's one of the issues that we've had, is that we've been small where we can't protect the rim, and we've given up a lot of layups. But here of late, since the last time we played Miami, we've gotten really better, at the defensive end, and the trust has just grown since.
Coach, you're an NBA champion. What qualities do you see on this team that makes them a legit title contender?
Well, I think the biggest thing is they're a team. I know that we talk about Luka and Kai a lot, but there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle that makes this thing go. And so, very similar to the 11 team, when you talk about Dirk and Jason Terry, they had a lot of older guys that didn't get the attention but knew their job and did their job at a high level. And it was just all about winning. And I think when you talk to these guys, it's all about winning. No one is into the stats. There will be some individual awards here for some of those guys that deserve it. But at the end of the day, it's all about team, and they care for one another.
I know it's a nice problem to have, but how do you expect you'll handle pretty much 10 days without a game that matters between now and game 1? I know you have the 2 left, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday. But then you get several days off. And teams haven't practiced a lot, obviously. Like, how do you stay sharp in that? And the Clippers were dealing with the same thing. A lot of teams will do, but how does that gap work?
Yeah, I think, just understanding All-Star break, we've gone through that, and we were playing well before the All-Star break, and we came out of the All-Star break and stumbled a little bit, so we'll talk about that. But also, we got to work and be prepared. There'll be some time off, but also there's going to be time where we can work on our mental side of the game to get better. So probably a lot of film, which guys sometimes don't like, but just being able to prepare for the Clippers mentally, and then being able to stay on the court and keep a rhythm, that will be the biggest thing.
Coach, congratulations for the victory.
Thank you.
JC Guerrero for Hispanic Sports Media. You are one of the best point guard players in history, passing the ball, assistant players, and you represent other kind of players like John Stockton or Steve Nash. But what do you think about the new generation of point guards? Players like Luka Doncic, players like Stephen Curry, they changed the game. And what's your opinion about that? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. The game is in a great space right now when you talk about Luka and Steph. When you talk about the younger players, Anthony Edwards, the game is being played at a high level. Maybe there's not positions anymore. Everyone is 6'10", who can handle. Giannis can play point guard. But I think just the game, when you look at guys averaging 10 or 11 assists, they make the game easy. They're students of the game. And so, when you talk about those names, Curry and Luka, the game is in a great place. And passing, when you look at Luka, I'm spoiled to see him every day. He's always shown us something different, but he understands how to play the game the right way, uses the pass to help get what he wants, but also to help his teammates succeed. And so I think it's in a great place.
MGM, Remix Sports Media. Coach, your team has been having a lot of success as of late. How much of that success as a unit can be credited to the energy and the sportsmanship coming from the bench on a nightly basis?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're truly believers of the energy. I think when you look at the bench, they are a big part of that because a lot of times if we talk about the starters or the star players, the energy of that bench is big and they truly believe they have an impact in the game. And so they don't get a lot of the credit, but since you bring up a great question, it's a big part of our culture. It's about cheering for one another, and they truly believe Dante, Timmy, those guys will cheer for the stars. When we talk about it, the stars cheer for those guys who come in for them, and that's what makes this team special.